With a quorum being present, I call this August 9th, 2024 meeting of the Texas Women's University Systems Board of Regents to order at 9:02 a.m. I would like to take a moment to welcome members of the board, the TWU administration, presenters, and all those who are present with us today at the Texas Women's University Systems Denton campus. Everyone is reminded that the meeting is being streamed live and is asked to speak loudly and clearly as they make comments during the meeting. I would also ask that everyone identify themselves when they make comments during the meeting to better inform members of the public who are joining us here at the meeting or listening to the live stream. Additionally, please make sure to turn on your microphones when addressing the board to ensure that members of the public and individuals listening to the live stream are able to hear all portions of this meeting. Presenters, please make sure you use the microphone for all portions of your presentation, including answering questions, to ensure that everyone is able to hear you. Before we begin with the board items, I would like to introduce our newest student regent and allow them to share with you a little about themselves. Student Regent Maya Landgrebe of Alvin is a TWU alumna with a Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology. She is currently pursuing her doctorate in occupational therapy at TWU in Houston. She was inspired to pursue occupational therapy after seeing its tremendous effect on people's well-being and the creativity allowed for it in the field. As a pioneer, Student Regent Landgrebe has a long history of involvement both on and off campus. As a COVID first-year student who struggled to make connections, she aspired to create a community across the campus for those who followed after her. She created dozens of events on campus and welcomed the largest first-year class so far at TWU as orientation team lead. Student Regent Landgrebe formerly served as the TWU Residents Hall Association President and Regional Director of the Southwest affiliate of college and university residence halls, where she began her leadership journey and represented hundreds of students. Across the Denton community, she represented TWU on the Downtown Denton Advisory Board and volunteered at the local women's shelter. Student Regent Landgrebe has a passion for advocating and bringing a new perspective to those around her. May we welcome Student Regent Landgrebe with a round of applause. Student Regent Landgrebe, would you like to share a few words with the board?
Absolutely. So Student Regent Landgrebe, I am so excited to be here today. Thank you for that introduction. I am hoping to advocate for our students in the best way possible and bringing that perspective onto the board here today and throughout this year. I look forward to working with you all and continuing my leadership journey throughout this year with you all. So thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to this year.
Thank you, Student Regent Landgrebe, for those remarks. We are delighted that you have been appointed to serve on this board, and on behalf of the members of the board, I would like to sincerely welcome you to the Texas Women's University Systems Board of Regents. We will now consider approval of the minutes of the Board of Regents full board meeting of May 17th, 2024. Do I hear a motion that the minutes be approved?
Regent Wu, so moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Regent Wilson, second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion about changes to or clarifications of the minutes? It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? The motion passes with a unanimous vote. We will now take up items on the consent agenda which have been brought forth by the Finance and Audit Committee and the Academic Affairs Committee for the full board's consideration unless any regent would like to pull an item from the consent agenda for separate discussion. The consent agenda items the board will be acting on are items A through H, as outlined in the agenda and in your board materials, and which were presented in the committee meetings. Would any regents like to pull any of the consent agenda items for separate discussion? Hearing no request to pull any additional item from the consent agenda for separate discussion, is there any additional discussion about any of the consent agenda items? With no further discussion, the board will now vote on consent agenda items A through H. Do I hear a motion to approve items A through H?
Regent Shepherd, so moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Regent Coleman seconds.
Any discussion? It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? The motion passes with a unanimous vote. At this time, the board will take up several presentations. First, we will take up a presentation introducing the Texas Women's University Houston Campus President, presented by Dr. Corrine M. Phaeton, Chancellor and President.
Thank you, Chairwoman McDavid. Back in February, you might remember that I had Christopher Johnson introduce Monica Christopher, another Monica, on my behalf. And in those remarks, he shared some of what we were trying to accomplish by hiring leaders for Dallas and Houston. But I think it's worth repeating the why we're doing this. And in essence, we need to serve the city of, in this case, Houston, with greater intentionality. We can bring our mission to more Texans by partnering with local ISDs, community colleges, and other higher education leaders in the greater Houston area. So we took a bold step toward doing the same thing back in February when we hired Dallas campus president Monica Christopher. And that strategy, I can't even tell you how much it is paying off in ways that it would take me all morning to detail. Suffice it to say, I couldn't be happier. So now I am delighted to introduce the inaugural Houston campus president, Dr. Monica Williams. Would you please stand, Monica? And we've decided that we were going to call them Dallas Monica, Houston Monica, and just Monica for our vice president from Denton. So, beyond being a delight to be around, do you want to come to the front, Monica? Thank you. Beyond being a delight to be around and a ray of sunshine to those she leads, she boasts an incredible portfolio of past leadership, which, I will say more than once today, is the best predictor of future success. Bob Mung, former president of UNT Dallas, called Monica his vice president for everything. She helped him really transform that university by roughly doubling its 2,000 students when she started. She knows how to do a lot with a little, and she knows what she's getting into, and she is eager to be part of our story. She also knows how a system in Texas works, similar to ours, and has grappled with questions of what works coming from a system level and what is critical to have at the local level. So we look forward to having all of your insights on those issues as we move forward, Monica. And while I'm highlighting her UNT Dallas experience, she is importantly a Houstonian. She grew up in Houston and has experience at Texas Southern, Prairie View A&M, Rice, and other nonprofit experiences, primarily in fundraising. But let me tell you what I found out last night. It just happens that yesterday, Monica was nominated to the top 30 influential women in Houston for 2024. So that's really impressive. Congratulations. So you see, she brings that perfect combination of lived experience and passion for the Texas Women's Mission, and you will have many opportunities to get to know her better in the months and years ahead. We have an event planned, actually, for her first day on August 26th, so like Tony Sanchez yesterday, Monica is here before she's actually official. And we are planning her installation event around your November board meeting on the Houston campus on November 7th. So we'll have an opportunity all to be there for your installation. In summary, I am delighted, and please join me in welcoming Dr. Monica Williams to say a few words.
Just a remarkable introduction, and I cannot tell you how just fortunately honored and blessed I am to be here. I have watched Texas Women's University and its growth and evolution since I was a young girl. My history with Texas Women's University goes back to 1967 when my parents met on the campus. And that's a long and a short story, so I'm sure all of you will get to hear it at some point. But I've always felt a strong draw to wanting to be a part of Texas Women's University because it was a household name. The university was where I was conceived. And in so many ways, I've just carried it with me my whole life. I'm a teacher at heart. I started out as an English teacher, and I've seen many times in my life the transformation and power that education can bring. And so I think the responsibility that you have allowed me to take on will really give me the chance to go back home and to make a marked difference in the lives of students and in the community of Houston, where I love. So the more I've learned about Texas Women's University and your local academic mission and broader university mission and the history of this great university, the more I am convinced that serving as the inaugural president of the Houston campus has been a lifelong jewel for me and the crowning jewel of my career. I believe that this legacy that I will leave will be one that will inspire others, other women and students to pursue the power of education. And I am honored that I get to return home with my family alongside me championing this wonderful university. So thank you for the amazing opportunity. Thank you for welcoming me today, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Phaeton, for the amazing introduction of Campus President Williams. And thank you, Campus President Williams, for your outstanding address to this board. On behalf of the Texas Women's University System's Board of Regents, I want to say that we are extremely excited to welcome you as our Houston campus president, and we know that the knowledge and experience that you bring to the campus will have an immense and important impact on the Houston campus and Texas Women's University system. We are looking forward to witnessing your achievements to further the mission of TWU. May we all welcome Campus President Williams with a round of applause. At this time, are there any board members who would like to express a few words about this item? Please, Dr. Wright, Regent Wright.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to welcome President Monica Williams. As the Regent from Houston, I am so excited to welcome you and have you in Houston and watch the growth that will happen in Houston within the Texas Medical Center under your leadership. I know that there will be a strategic vision of growth and prominence within the Texas Medical Center, so welcome.
Thank you, Regent Wright. Any other comments?
Regent Amercan, I've had just a couple of brief encounters with you, but I can tell you've got the it factor.
Any other discussion? Oh, Regent Jester.
Thank you, Regent Jester. I want to say that not only is her resume and background on paper impressive and seems like a perfect fit for Texas Women's University, but I did have the pleasure of sitting at the table with her last night, and her personality, the grit, the high goals, the professionalism, everything that we espouse to here at Texas Women's University, it seems like kismet. And so it is such an honor and privilege to welcome her on board to Texas Women's University, and especially with Regent Wright and all of the exciting things happening on the Houston campus. I truly believe this is the beginning of a new chapter that's going to soar. And so I just could not be more pleased, and well done on finding and all those that worked on finding just the right fit, because you've done it. So well done, and it's very inspiring. Thank you.
Is there any? Yes.
This is Regent Coleman. As a former student of the Houston campus, I am very excited to see you come. Learning in the medical center was a memory that just, one of my favorite memories is being in the medical center and learning and just the energy. And I wish you all the best, and I can't wait to see you in November.
Thank you. Student Regent Landgrebe.
Student Regent Landgrebe, I just would like to express, as a prior Denton student and now a current Houston student for TWU, how much of an impact I believe you will have. I also had the pleasure of sitting with President Williams, last night, and had a lot of really great conversations in how we can truly bring the students of Houston together and growing that campus, along with building relationships with Dallas and Denton. And I look forward to really pioneering that with you and working with you throughout this year.
And, thank you, Regent Wilson.
Regent Wilson, again, I don't know how you did it, Corinne, but this is such a wonderful, great opportunity for Texas Women's, and both personally and as a person who will be a wonderful leader. I welcome President Williams. I know that great things are ahead of us.
If I may, I think we owe a little bit of gratitude to Bob Monk, the former president of UNT Dallas, because he really put the bug in my ear.
Again, welcome to the TW system and the Houston campus, Campus President Williams. We will next take up a presentation of tenure, emeritus, and emerita faculty presented by Dr. Angela Bauer, Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost.
Oh, there we go. Good morning, everyone. Esteemed Regents, Chancellor Phaeton, President Christopher, President Williams. Our circle is growing. It's wonderful. So I'm pleased to share that the following individual has been approved for tenure here at Texas Women's University. And let me get my slide here. So Dr. Win Sing Cheng was recently hired to serve as chair of our Department of Nutrition and Food Sciences here at TWU. Dr. Cheng comes to us from Mississippi State University, where he served as a full professor within the Department of Food, Nutrition, and Health Promotion. Thought we had a photo of him. I apologize for that. All right, so Dr. Cheng earned both a master's degree in animal nutrition and a PhD in nutrition from Cornell University in 2001. And that institution in particular is internationally known for its reputation in this academic area. Since that time, he's been an active scholar in the area of mineral nutrition and aging, studying the genomic impact of selenium in the aging process. He's an accomplished scholar and has authored at least 38 refereed scientific journal articles and 8 book chapters. And this award of tenure is based on a thorough review of his accomplishment by departmental committees, university leadership, and of course our Board of Regents. And we anticipate that Dr. Chang's leadership as chair, combined with his research acumen, will greatly benefit our students and also further elevate the reputation of our nutrition and food sciences program here at Texas Women's University. So I'm also happy to share that our board has approved the granting of faculty emeritus status to the following individuals. Emeritus status is a significant honor bestowed upon select retiring faculty members who have demonstrated outstanding dedication and achievement throughout their careers. It recognizes their lasting impact on our institution and also within their fields of study. And to be considered for this honor, nominees must meet several criteria. I'll just review a few of them here. They, first of all, have to have at least 10 consecutive years of dedicated and loyal service to TWU, a record of distinguished achievements as a teacher, scholar, and/or innovator, recognized both within and outside of the university. Nomination by at least one faculty member, supported by 3 other letters of recommendation. Endorsement by their home academic component through a majority faculty vote, and then all of this has to happen within 3 years of their retirement. And so these rigorous standards ensure that emeritus status truly reflects exceptional merit and service, which of course is the case with all of these individuals. So we are profoundly grateful for their years of service, their commitment to excellence, and the indelible mark that they have left on our institution here at Texas Women's University.
Thank you, Dr. Bauer. We are thrilled to be able to award tenure to this incoming faculty member. Additionally, we are excited to award emeritus and emeritus status to these faculty members. We know that their hard work and scholarship has a powerful impact on TWU, and we thank them for their commitment to TWU. We will now take up a presentation of emeritus and emeritus staff presented by Mr. Jason Tomlinson, Vice President for Finance and Administration.
Good morning and thank you. The faculty and staff are the lifeblood of our institution. You just heard about some of the faculty. I have the privilege of recognizing some of the staff who have or are retiring and have contributed so much. One of the ways we do that is by bestowing the emerita title to them. So on behalf of my academic colleagues, we appreciate your honoring of, let's spin my sink, I read my people, Grace Shalon and Elaine Cox, Tammy Hood, and Rhonda Reed. All of those have worked in academic affairs. And on my behalf of Dr. Grant, we would like to recognize Jerry Parr, Junie Pentecost, and Joanne Reeves. We appreciate and thank them for their service, and we thank you for honoring them. Any questions? Thank you.
We are ecstatic to be able to award emeritus and emeritus status to these staff members. And as with the faculty awards, we know that their hard work and dedication to TWU has had an incredible impact on this university, and we thank them for their devotion to TWU. We will now take up the agenda items as listed. Do I hear a motion to hear all items on the agenda as listed?
Regent Hyde makes the motion.
Thank you. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Regent Coleman seconds.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? The motion passes with unanimous vote. We will now take up item A, recommend approval of the naming of the College of Business, presented by Ms. Lisa Rampey, Vice President for University Advancement, and Dr. Ruma Yelker, Dean College of Business.
Good morning. It is with profound honor that I stand before you today to speak about a remarkable individual whose journey is a testament to the power of dreaming big. Marilee Alexander Kick is not just a successful entrepreneur. She's a trailblazer, a visionary, and an innovator. Her story begins while sitting poolside grading high school papers, enjoying a cool cocktail, and thinking she needed an unbreakable container. Marilee used the idea for her MBA capstone project, and after graduating from Texas Women's University with an MBA, Marilee took what she started as a business capstone project and began researching the industry and experimenting in her kitchen, blending her creativity and entrepreneurial spirit. Her goal was to create a winery distillery and build it from the ground up. The result, BuzzBalls, LLC Southern Champion, a company that has revolutionized the beverage industry with its fun, innovative cocktails. But the path to success wasn't easy. She had to research how to make the container, create a prototype, research all the rules and laws surrounding permits for alcoholic beverages on the federal and state side, buy equipment, create each individual drink, and get each name trademarked. Her family and her worked day and night to get out their first order. Then they ran out of money, and her parents sold a bond to give her a much-needed injection of $50,000 so she could order more inventory. Until recently, the company was family-owned with no outside investors until U.S. drinks firm Sazerac acquired BuzzBalls in April 2024. BuzzBalls Southern Champion specializes in making ready-to-drink cocktails called BuzzBalls, as well as making premium spirits such as vodka, rum, gin, and bourbon. The company imports and exports spirits and also manufactures private label brands. Marilee's success is not just measured by the impressive sales figures, but also by her unwavering commitment to quality, innovation, and sustainability. BuzzBalls is dedicated to environmental, social, and governance improvements that foster a sustainable future leading to social and economic improvements. Her business acumen has earned her numerous accolades, including but not limited to a place on Forbes 50 over 50 list, Forbes 2024 America's Richest Self-Made Women list, the Dallas Business Journal's Most Admired CEO, ENY's Winning Women, ENY Entrepreneur of the Year Award, winner of the Enterprising Women's Hall of Fame Award, Distinguished Alumni Award from TWU, and most recently, the TWU College of Business 2024 Best in Business Outstanding Woman-Owned Business Award. Like any true entrepreneur, Marilee's journey is one of resilience and tenacity. Faced with limited resources, fierce competition, and an ever-present risk of failure, Marilee navigated these challenges with grace and determination, following her innovative spirit. She says, "We've become a contender in a space where women never went." Marilee is also a dedicated philanthropist, supporting various causes and initiatives that uplift and empower communities. Her commitment to giving back is evident in her involvement in educational programs and her support for organizations that foster entrepreneurship and innovation. I met Marilee Kick 3 years ago when I came to Texas Women's University as the Dean of the College of Business. When I heard the fantastic story of how Marilee built her capstone project in the MBA class to bring her idea to fruition, I was determined to meet her and get to know the strong, resilient, tenacious woman who built her business in a male-dominated industry from scratch. I was touched by her kindness as she hosted me at BuzzBalls and offered to host students from our current MBA capstone classes, a class that helped her get her business off the ground. We kept in touch and last fall started talking about how she could impact the next generation of women students through her expertise and resources. All the trials and tribulations she went through to patent her products and get her business off the ground, I was trying to see if we can pass that on to several other students that are forthcoming. I met with her to get feedback on our programs, as well as start a conversation about naming opportunities, along with her capstone professor, Dr. Derek Cruz. And we started talking about what would be meaningful to her and in the College of Business. in spring, I received a phone call from Mary Lee, and she told me about the sale of Buzz Balls. And her words were, "I told you I'm going to build a billion-dollar business." And she did what she said she would do when she walked out of that capstone class at TWU in 2009 and started her business in 2010. And in 14 years, here we are. We continued the conversation, and I sent her a menu of items that she considered, and one thing led to the other, and I sent her a proposal for the naming of an entrepreneurship institute and an endowed chair. When I reached out to her with these proposals, I got a little bolder, and I told her I wanted to dream big, and my dream was that she would name the College of Business. On the 30th of May, less than 12 hours of receiving my note, she had not only chosen to name an institute and an endowed chair, but also contribute towards a building exclusively for the College of Business, and name the College of Business, all with a generous gift of $30 million, the largest gift that TWU has ever received. From becoming a College of Business in 2017 to receiving AACSB accreditation in 2023, we are the newest college and the first to be a named college, hopefully, at Texas Women's University. Mary Lee Alexander Kick, we could not have done this without your support and generosity, and the impact of your gift will be felt by generations of students and the woman-owned businesses that they will create. Thank you for your transformational gift, which will change the trajectory of the College of Business. You embody Texas Women's University's Dream Big campaign. Your phenomenal and historical gift will open doors, allow us to cultivate grit and create future generations of women entrepreneurs, and fuel innovation in our programs and offerings. You have indeed made the big dream for the College of Business come true. Thank you, Mary Lee Alexander Kick.
So at this time, I present the resolution for the naming of the College of Business. Whereas in 2009, Mary Lee Alexander Kick was a high school teacher, radio broadcaster, and executive MBA student at TWU seeking to enhance her financial stability and better support her family. This experience, along with an innate entrepreneurial spirit, became a transformational source of inspiration that would profoundly alter the course of her life and career. Whereas while grading papers by the pool one day and enjoying a cocktail, Mrs. Kick realized she needed an unbreakable solution for her glassware. This thought led to the concept of a sphere-shaped cocktail container. Unable to find a similar product on the market, she decided to develop her concept further by drafting a comprehensive business plan as her capstone project at TWU. Mrs. Kick left TWU with a promise to materialize this idea and build a billion-dollar company. Whereas after earning her MBA, Mrs. Kick set out to build BuzzBall's Southern Champion from the groundwork of her capstone project, which eventually grew to become the only woman-owned winery, distillery, brewery in the United States with annual revenue exceeding $50 million. Mrs. Kick's journey to success involved navigating a series of distinct challenges and innovations. She aspired to design a beverage container that combined durability with environmental responsibility, and did just that. Mrs. Kick developed a plastic container infused with an enzyme that accelerates biodegradation, cutting the decomposition time from 150 years in a landfill to just 4 years. Whereas from a family of teachers, Mrs. Kick values education and advocates for a better world. Upon the sale of her company, she has returned to the place that inspired the billion-dollar idea and pledged to support the education enterprise at Texas Women's University. The Mary Lee Alexander Kick Support Fund for the College of Business will support college programming, as well as fund the construction of a new building that will house the College of Business. Additionally, endowments will be established to support an Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, an Entrepreneur in Residence program, and an endowed chair, all of which will be named in her honor. This is the largest gift in Texas women's history. Now, therefore, at this point, I recommend the approval for the naming of the College of Business as the Mary Lee Alexander Kick College of Business and Entrepreneurship.
Regent Wilson, so move.
Regent Wu, second.
Thank you, Ms. Rampey and Dr. Yelker. I want to take a moment to thank Miss Mary Lee Alexander Kick for the generous support of the College of Business and this institution. And on behalf of myself and the Texas Women's University System Board of Regents, we are sincerely grateful for her generous and transformational gift to our institution. Her partnership and continued support will have a meaningful impact on Texas women students and all those served by the College of Business. At this time, anybody else, if you'd like to make a few remarks, we certainly have voted and seconded, so.
Regent Wu, hearing the story, and I had heard it before, but seeing you here, you embody everything I think that each one of us are sitting around this table. That's why we're here. And if you saw that quote that's out there about empowering a woman and you change the world, you've done that. So I thank you on behalf of the Regents and personally.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of...
One more,
Oh,
Lisa.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. Regent Coleman.
This is just the beginning, and we are just so excited. Like, the buzz in the newspaper was amazing just as soon as the news dropped on Facebook. It was so fun to watch the comments and the excitement, and this is just something that doesn't happen to us very often. And it happened, and it was just amazing. But it is the beginning, and we look forward to seeing you for the groundbreaking of your building and the unveiling of your name, because those things will happen, and we're going to be there. So we're very excited. Thank you.
Regent Jester, thank you. Thank you. On behalf of generations to come, generations and generations of men and women, students, faculty, staff, and what the catalyst will be is this, in this moment. As a small business owner myself, it is a different set of challenges. And the fact that we are going to be able to equip people to change their lives and change their families' lives is so meaningful. And so I just wanted to echo everyone else's words and just know that you go with heartfelt thanks, appreciation, and there is no doubt in anyone's minds of the lives that are going to be changed because of this gift today. It means the world. Thank you.
I would like to add, on my way home from the event last night, I was so enamored with your mother and your family, and we had a slight connection with my granddaughter and Mary Lee's son, and it was just a special moment. So on the way home, I'm speaking to my daughter who lives in New York, and she was absolutely ecstatic because she had read about you in the New York Times, and she said, "Mother, Buzzballs is everything up here." And I said, "Evidently." So I know you have a fan in New York who is very impressed by your tenacity and your grit. And so you continue to influence women all around the country and evidently all around the world. And she's in finance and has done a lot of things as well. So That was wonderful to hear. And would you like to say a few words as well? Thank you.
I'm not used to a formal setting because I make booze, and it's very casual in nature. I want to thank TWU. Corrine, thank you for accepting this, and Rama, thank you for stalking me. And, I'd like to also thank Derek Cruz and Michael Razakani. They were two very influential professors during my MBA. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to give money to TWU, because my MBA helped catapult me to create this business, Buzzballs. And it's a special company to me because it embodies who I am from the personality side. It's fun. It's innovative. We want to reinvent happy hour, so it's a fun type of environment. I want to thank my parents. You met my mother last night. My father's passed, but they gave me the gift of selfless giving. And they've always done that throughout their educational life. And I somehow inherited that. And I want to thank my sons, Andrew and Alex. Alex is up in Montana. Andrew's sitting right over there. Andrew, raise, yeah. They've been with me since the very beginning and the start of Buzzballs and helped me build it to where it is. I'd like to thank my husband, Tim, who's over there sitting quietly. He's the one that came on board and helped us sell our company and get a pretty penny for it. A lot more than the 30 million that you were saying I had in revenues, but that would be, 50 million, you said 50, right? Yeah. That would be pretty big of me to give 30 of it away. That was quite a while ago. But I wanted to thank my husband so much for helping me sell this company. I was going to say he's my pimp, but maybe the Board of Regents might not approve that. I'm really excited to help loosen you guys up a little. I'm happy to have fun and bring joy to your students. Let's go break some barriers. Okay?
Mary Lee, I haven't said anything yet because we spoke extensively last night, but I wanted to tell you from the bottom of my heart, and I said this last night, 30 million times thank you. You're an amazing woman. Exactly, I see the earrings. You are an amazing woman for all of the things that have been said already, but that fun part and following your passion. You're doing with passion, with high energy, you have fire in the belly, and that's what I wish for every single student coming to TWU. So you're an amazing role model. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So
We're signing right now?
it's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? The motion passes with a unanimous vote. Once again, thank you to Miss Mary Lee Alexander Kick for this exceptionally generous and groundbreaking gift. Thank you very much. The Board of Regents will now, a photo opportunity. Thank you. Now take a brief recess to commemorate this moment. The board meeting will continue in approximately 15 minutes. The time is 9:45 a.m. and we will be meeting in 15 minutes.
Oh, sure. I know. So exciting. I'm sorry. Can I get my phone?
August. Today's the 18th. 9th of August. Too many shock pieces this week.
I did. Like I told you, my husband's out of town, so I'm running into the animals this morning. I'm trying to get all ready for the housekeeper.
Sorry, he's got it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done.
He's here.
All the lives that will be changed. Thank you. You really did.
Good enough. I think so. If I didn't, then I'm gonna run out of storage.
There's more photo ops.
You'll take 50. I'll make sure to get a few of each.
That's what you know. You
We
know.
got all these professional photographers here, but she's gonna want the one on my phone, you know. I'm like, why? Yeah. Why is that the case? You know?
She can edit it.
Yeah. And text it. For a second, I thought, you know, the ball cap was going to come out. She's like, I'm committing to that's almost what it looks like, you know, with the background and all that. Full wrap.
Scheduled for demolition, now it's scheduled for spring because of the accelerated.
Yeah?
It's another way. And I think the buildings, like the pilot, there's some other place, two in one.
Do you have your hand out?
No, like, I don't think we didn't get our start.
Woo! Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I was really
We got a lot of work today, sister.
demolition celebration.
At some point today.
Thank you.
With a quorum being present, I again call this meeting of the Texas Women's University Systems Board of Regents to order at 9:54 a.m. We will now take up item B, report on Texas Women's University athletics, presented by Dr. Monica Mendez-Grant, Vice President for Student Life, Ms. Sandy Mott, Director of Athletics, and Ms. Jessica Ransom, Head Volleyball Coach.
Good morning. Fall semester is just around the corner, and that's always a good time to reflect on where we've been and where we're going. TWU is so fortunate to have Sandy Mott serving as our Executive Director for Athletics. She's overseen tremendous growth in our program. She understands how to leverage unique opportunities for growth and advancement at TWU, and she ensures high standards of student success. And of course, she's committed to our student athletes and a winning attitude. So with that, I will turn it over to Sandy.
Thank you, Dr. Mendez-Grant, and good morning, everyone. Marilee walked out, but I was going to tell her I'm usually the funny one. That was kind of, took my thunder there a little bit, so, no, seriously. Good morning. It's always a great day to be a pioneer, and a true honor to be able to join you today and provide an athletics update, as we did have a few things happen this summer. Again, thank you for this opportunity. In May, I provided the academic update, but in June, we learned the final placement for Division II community service. We finished 4th in all of NCAA Division II. There are 304 institutions in Division II. We finished 4th in all of Division II in community service hours, amassing over 2,600 hours served for the 23-24 academic year. And remember, we're half the size of the peer institutions, as we are a single-gender athletic department. Our student athletes enjoy serving our campus and Denton communities, and certainly do not do it to win awards, but it's always nice to be recognized, just as we are with our academic awards as well. Additionally, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee finished 2nd in the Lone Star Conference SAC Cup, as each campus earns points based on service, fundraising for the D2 Make-A-Wish initiative, and participation in Lone Star Conference events. Women's basketball student athlete Scout Huffman is the chair of the Lone Star Conference SAC and a member of the NCAA Division II SAC, one of 26 students nationwide who serves on that committee. We are proud of her efforts, as she is gaining valuable leadership experience representing the Lone Star Conference and Texas Women's University. We had individual and team accolades awarded in June and July as well. 6 gymnasts were named Academic All-District, and then just recently, Daisy Woodring and Cami Zarlingo, the two on the far, it'd be your right, on the far right of the gymnastics picture up there, were named Academic All-Americans. Daisy, who's on the far end, was also an NCAA Woman of the Year nominee. This honor encompasses all 3 divisions and all 3 sports. I mean, all sports, not 3, sorry. 3 divisions, all the sports across NCAA. 5 softball student athletes were named Academic All-District. Laurel Jones from our stunt team was selected as the Lone Star Conference Scholar Athlete. 94 of our student athletes were named to the Lone Star Conference Honor Roll, which requires a 3.3 GPA or higher. And it was just announced here in the last couple weeks that TW basketball earned the 4th highest grade point average in all of Division II. Brains and brawn. Yep. And we had a significant award for athletic prowess. For the first time in program history, 2 stunt student athletes were named College Stunt All-Americans. We are very proud of Kaylin and Jocelyn. This past year marked the 50th anniversary of NCAA Division II, and the association recognized 2 awards during this year. I'm proud to say that TW swept both of the women's awards during this time. Jo Kuhn, former coach, administrator, and faculty member, won the Gold Award for her contributions to Division II during her tenure. Ashley Ingram was the Lone Star Conference Women's recipient of the 50th Anniversary Scholarship awarded to a current student athlete with remarkable academics, service, and athletic achievements. While Ashley's picture is on the screen, you probably saw that the women's basketball team traveled to Greece. They just returned home last week. It was an amazing trip for their foreign tour. If you didn't follow on social media, we will have a full photo gallery on our website soon that you can see all the amazing pictures. About 2/3 of the team's families went with them. So we had a travel party of nearly 50 folks who spent 10 days in Greece seeing the sights, and we played some basketball as well while we were there. So this trip allowed the team to both celebrate the year that was and prepare them for the upcoming season. In honor of the Olympics, which I hope you are all enjoying, we are so proud of Louise Ritter, who was inducted into the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. That's quite a lot of a name there, but she was inducted into their Hall of Fame in June. As you know, Louise was a gold medalist in the 1988 Seoul Olympics in the high jump as she cleared 6 feet 8 inches. While in Oregon in June for her ceremony, she demonstrated she still has that gold medal form. Super proud of Louise. And finally, it is my pleasure to introduce you to our new volleyball head coach. Coach Jessica Ransom has 18 years experience coaching club, high school, and college volleyball, and has seen success at every level. She not only brings the experience on the court we need, but she brings the same level of investment in academic and leadership development we expect. Her Texas ties run deep, and I am truly honored and excited for the women in our program to continue to grow and excel under her leadership. So, Coach, I'm going to hand it to you for a few words.
Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. As Sandy said, I have a lot of ties to TW. As a high school player, I played in the Kitty McGee Arena in Pioneer Hall for club tournaments. I also was a student athlete at Midwestern State, so we played as a visitor team many times in the arena. Just as a driver in the car on I-35, I got to see the towers of the dorm rooms. And so I would get to say, oh, I've been there, you know, TW, but always from the outside looking in. And I knew there was something special just every time I stepped on campus. So to now be here and be a part of the Pioneer family, it's even more special being on the inside of it. So the past 6 weeks, everyone has just been so welcoming, so helpful. Anytime I have a lot of questions, getting to learn the processes and protocols and everything, everyone's just so willing to help. And so I've taken several moments during my lunch break and just walked through campus, walked through different buildings, meeting people, and I already have such a sense of pride wearing maroon, and again, just being part of the family. And so thankful to be here, so excited for the season to come. Our girls actually move in 1 week from today, so we get to start practices and everything. And so hopefully in the next few months, you guys can come out to some matches and see us play. And then hopefully at the end of those months, we'll have our whole team up here raising a trophy and giving out some awards for a successful season. So again, thank you so much for welcoming me. And I'm so excited to get started and be a part of the Pioneer family. So thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Well, we had great success during 23 and 24 in all areas. It was awesome. And I'm here to tell you that it was not a once-in-a-lifetime season. I believe it is just the beginning. And we will continue to use the phrases record-breaking, history-making many times this year as well. Our volleyball and soccer student athletes arrive 1 week from today, and we are ready to build on our recent success, and we are ready to continue to dream big. Thank you, and if you have any questions for us, we're happy to take them.
This is Regent Hyde. I only have a comment. It's remarkable the balance that you have with your players and the community service that takes time, effort, and discipline. The academic achievements, also time, effort, and the achievements speak for themselves, and then the record of the competition. So whenever I hear someone use the phrase hitting on all cylinders, I think about you and all of your efforts. So thank you.
Thank you.
This is Regent Coleman. As a renewing member of the Pioneer Club, I am really excited about your season. Football comes and volleyball comes, and it's just wonderful in the fall. But it's always exciting to watch you all play, the students come out and play, and the excitement is there, and it's such a good crowd. So we're looking forward to your season in volleyball and all the other exciting things that are happening on campus with sports. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your continued participation in the Pioneer Club.
Thank you, Dr. Mendez-Grant. Ms. Mott, I still think you're funny. And Ms. Franson, we're thrilled to have you. Is there any discussion? We will now take up item C, Report on Office of Governmental and Legislative Affairs, presented by Mr. Kevin Cruiser, Director of Governmental and Legislative Affairs.
Good morning, Regents, and thank you, Ms. Mott, for at least not bringing me to tears this time with some sort of inspirational video that I had to follow. So the accomplishments are quite impressive, but at least this time I feel like I can maybe follow that act. But, and so for that, I would also say, as someone who went to Greece this summer, afaristo. To get into what we have been doing, what I've been working on this last few months, first we've had a number of congressional staff visits. The head health policy advisor for Congressman Jackson was on campus over the summer, as well as staff from Senator Ted Cruz's office visited with our aviation program. So I'd like to thank Clint Grant for his work on that. Had a very successful visit there. Also, recently, probably, we can't declare Andy Hopper our new state representative, but he is the Republican nominee to replace Representative Stuckey. So while we're very grateful to Representative Stuckey for his past service and representation of our university, it was great to have not representative yet, but probably Representative Hopper on campus to visit with Dr. Phaeton, and I thank her for, as always, putting on a good show for our elected officials. And up next, hopefully we'll have our presumptive State Senator Hagan Bush. We keep trading dates, and we haven't quite found the right note yet, but we're going to have him on campus as soon as possible as well. The big thing this time of year, leading into a legislative session, is preparing what we call our legislative appropriations request, or you might hear me use the term LAR for that. We have been working hard on that with Jason's team. Well, really, I bug everybody's team for various different pieces of data on this. So I appreciate all of their hard work. We will submit that in just 1 week from today. On the 16th, we'll officially submit our legislative appropriations request. But I'd like to give you kind of an overview of what and this is, for the record, what an appropriations LAR is where we lay out all of our entire budget, all $290 million of the entire budget of the university for the state to review. And every university, every state agency is doing the same thing. They take all of those and they put them together to make the state budget. And this is the process that starts 6 months ahead of a legislative session. So it's a chance for us to put our best foot forward, defend what we did with the money that they gave us in the previous budget cycle, and then also to put any new great ideas or priorities in front of them. Most of the funding that we receive from the state is what we call formula funding. Just as a review, that is basically the number of students we have times the number of credit hours they take, and depending on what classes, whether it's a nursing class, you get a little bit more money than for an English class, so to speak. That's the formula. So the bulk of that is really not something that I can have an effect on. But as the presentations yesterday show, we're in good shape on semester credit hours and making progress. So that's the main thing. But what we also have is we have a chance to talk about ideas that we had that we think would be worthy of state investment. In the past, that's led to things like the Jane Nelson Center, or Institute for Women's Leadership, as a result of that. So I want to go over a couple that we think are worthy of state investment this year and that we're putting forward to the state. The first is, you might recall at our last meeting when I told you that Senator Cruz had put language in the FAA Reauthorization Act that really basically gives an institution, any four-year institution with an aviation program and a focus on women, an advantage towards becoming the next FAA Center of Excellence. So this is a very, very big head start for us, right? FAA Centers of Excellence is where the FAA outlines a problem that they want to have solved, and they look for university and corporate partners to come together in a team to solve that problem. It's a very prestigious thing to host a Center of Excellence, and something that we are committed to chasing down. Part of that is that whatever money we invest in that as an institution comes with federal dollars, matching dollars from the federal government. So this lends itself naturally to becoming something that we will seek state funding for, because the state government can rest assured that whatever investment they put in to a Center of Excellence will then be matched by the federal government. So that's our first big idea. Hey, we've got this great thing, this great opportunity. So we feel very good about that proposal. Of course, we can't count those chickens yet, but that's one of our big priorities. The other thing is through just talking to different legislative leaders, one of the points of emphasis that is going to be during the next legislative session is a number of legislators want to invest in foster cares. And so we excel at that. Our Frontiers program is the model. We are the gold standard for how to provide higher education to foster children in this state and even the nation. And we already are. Last session, we got funding to do a summer bridge program to bring foster children, I shouldn't say children, foster alumni from around the state to campus, and we had our first successful summer bridge program this summer. Demonstrated great success in that model. Those young adults are headed to college with math and English credits, TSI complete, and have a better sense of what it takes to succeed in college. As a result, we think that one of the things that we learned from that experience, and I don't want to step on Dr. Mendez-Grant's toes here, because this is all her department doing this excellent work, but I like to brag about it, is that one of the big challenges is getting those students even into the summer bridge program, right? We have to be able to identify them, and it's really hard to do. So what we're proposing is, if the state would invest a little bit more money into our program, is to create a Foster Care Alumni Success Center. I had to think about the acronym. And what that will do would be a year-round institute or center that would be a resource where, if you're a judge or a social worker and you have somebody that's in the foster care system that you think would be successful in college, but you're not quite sure how to take advantage of the different resources available in the state, we're proposing that TWU would have a center on campus, because we are the experts, because we know what we're doing, to then be just like, call a 1-800 number, send us an email, tell us the student's name, we'll get in touch, and we'll hold their hand entirely through the process, no matter whether they come to TWU or UT or Oklahoma, wherever they want to go to college, we'll help them get there. That's that idea. Finally, one of the things that we have long had and excelled in at TWU is research in women's health care. We have a Center for Women's Health that has long been funded by the state. Unfortunately, through the ebbs and flows of the budget process over the years, that state funding has been reduced, just through the natural budget cut cycle. And so we're asking for a restoration of that funding back to its original, or as close to its original amount as possible. So those are our big priorities. We have other things that we're working on that I'm not ready to roll out yet, but that's what I have spent my summer working on, and I'm happy to take questions.
Regent Jester, The Center of Excellence, the FFA Center of Excellence, does that come with a certain amount of staffing expectation, that external staff that then is housed within TW? Or can you tell us a little bit about what that would actually look like if that were to happen?
So I have just been doing a deep dive into because there are existing centers of excellence. And what it really is that anybody who seeks to be a center of excellence, it's always headed by an institution of higher education, and they build a consortium. Usually you have other institutions of higher education that join your team. And then you put forward a proposal of this is how we're going to tackle this particular problem, right? And in aviation, for example, believe it or not, one of the more recent ones is space travel. I had never thought about the fact that we don't want our rockets taking off, crashing into planes, flying over top of them, right? So the FAA has to control the airspace even for rockets, right? So that was a previous Center of Excellence studied that particular issue. So what we will be doing is our School of Aviation will be looking to work with partner institutions to put together a proposal and a bid. And the advantage we have is that language that Senator Cruz graciously put in the FAA bill for us that will, I think, encourage other institutions to want to work with us on that bid. As far as the actual staffing expectations, that's why we're going to the state for requests for funding so that we can have staff already in place that then would qualify, and every dollar we spend on said staff would then be matched by the FAA. So.
Well, it sounds very exciting, and look forward to hearing more about that. And we certainly are appreciative to our representatives and Senator Cruz for including that. It's a really big deal, so thank you, and always good to hear from you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr.
Regent-
Cruz.
Oh,
Go
Regent
ahead,
Shepherd.
Regent Shepherd.
Well, I was just going to say about the foster care kids that as a CASA volunteer, I've dealt with so many teenagers, and where I see a big barrier for, accessing college for them is really high school teachers, high school counselors who really don't recognize the opportunity that those kids could move forward. I'm sure Monica knows this, but they don't seem to get the encouragement once they're juniors in high school. They've already been thrown away by adults in their lives, so they don't really understand that somebody is there trying to get them into our loving arms here at TWU. But I wish there was some way just to have high school juniors do a field trip to TWU when they're juniors so that they understand, oh, I could do this. And maybe there is an opportunity, but that's when they need to start taking the SAT, and but somebody then to reach out to them, because again, high school counselors are just overwhelmed already. And this is a niche group that really needs so much extra. And maybe that's something your Center of Excellence for that program could be the ones then. I'll hold your hand from the time you're a junior till you graduate, and then we're ready for you, that sort of thing. But anyway, it's an impossible dream for most of these kids. They just don't even see themselves as being part of a campus or a student in college.
Well, you nailed it, and I will say this. I didn't read the exact written proposal, but the inclusion of training for high school counselors is a big part of what the center would do. And the center would also then be a resource for every high school counselor in the state of Texas. As you said, they have a ton of stuff on their plate already. So imagine a high school counselor has a student like this that's in their junior year. They can just say, hey, I've got this number, just email this person, call this center, and the center then will have, we call them, or they're proposed to be called success coaches, that will then basically, as soon as the counselor makes that referral, grab that student and get them into
Well, and
the
Texas
advising
CASA
unit.
is huge on this sort of thing, and really, you know, the tens of thousands of volunteers that work with judges already, that's a good place to plug in, because then me as a volunteer, I would hold the hand of my teenager that I'm trying to help, and but that. They have an educational system that you could just do a video for, and it would train, seriously, 10,000 CASA volunteers on introducing this idea to their children. And sometimes we're assigned to a case that goes on 6, 7 years. And so these kids become real special to us. And just to have a child be able to go to college would just be the ultimate reward for those of us who volunteer for that.
Absolutely, and Amy O'Keefe, who runs this program for us, is well integrated with CASA. There's another organization named REACH. Both of those organizations are organizations that this proposed center would be working hand in glove with, I think. So. Yes, and also, yes, we could make you the associate director, or yes.
Thank you, Mr. Cruiser. Any further discussion? We will now take a report on the Office of the Chancellor and President presented by Dr. Corrine M. Phaeton, Chancellor and President.
Thank you, Regent McDavid. So I'm going to depart a little bit from what I typically do at this time, where I usually keep it really short. But no worries. I'm not going to keep for very long either. But as Steve Jobs once said, you know, it's only by looking back that you can connect the dots. And so 10 years ago was my first board meeting here at Texas Women's University. And so I think sometimes it's important to look back. And I also think, and I mentioned this earlier with Monica Williams, that the past is the best predictor of the future. So I've selected one photo from each of my 10 years here, and I want to spend just the next 10 minutes sharing why I selected a photo and what it means about Texas Women's and the way I see the past as we predict and lead ahead. So I selected this picture. This was my second day on campus, believe it or not, back in 2014. And I selected that picture because it represents to me also shared governance. These are members of the Staff Council. And the importance to me of people in building culture and bringing multiple perspectives to the table. Multiple perspectives is something that I believe many value here at Texas Women's, and our diversity of perspectives will continue to be a strength moving forward. Next picture, 2015. This is a picture with Evelyn Black Huey, who was the first woman president at Texas Women's. She served 10 years, from 1976 to 1986. And I selected this photo as a reminder that our greatness as a university is not our doing alone. We are really building on more than a century of past leadership of faculty, staff, and students. And I've always held a special place in honoring our pioneers, and I want to continue to do that moving forward. This photo, this is probably one of my favorite photos. This is a photo of what I used to call my rolling meetings. This is, I would take bike tours around the campus with students, and we would stop and talk about topics. And this was the first group. The reason I like this picture is because I asked them, if this was in the very beginning that I was here, I said, so if I had to change anything about the university, what would it be? And if there's something you'd never want me to change, what would it be? And one of those students said to me, don't ever change the fact that it feels like a private school at the cost of a public school. And that somehow was etched in my brain. And we have since used that line in a lot of our materials and billboards and things like that. And I thought that was just really important because it gives you an image. You don't have to explain it. Everybody understands what that means. Anyway, so I learned some valuable insights through those casual interactions with the students. And also, I picked this picture because the students are why we are here. They are the reason we have our jobs. They're the reason we work here. And sometimes we get so caught up in other things that are important at the university in terms of governance and management, but really the students is who we serve, and they're the reason we're here. All right, this picture is really about sustainability. And so one of the things that I think is really important, well, to me anyway, is to look at what are the aspects of in order to have a sustainable organization. So I borrowed a framework that came from the UK that's often called the triple P, the 3 P standing for people, profits, and planet. It's also sometimes called the triple bottom line. And basically, the idea is that to have a sustainable organization, you have to pay attention to the people, in other words, to the work environment, the ethics, and all of those kinds of things. But you also have to worry about profits. You can't ignore the finance piece. And you also should think about the planet and the impact that we have on our planet. And those 3 elements have to be in balance. And in order to achieve balance, there's tension between the 3 of them. You don't want the people piece to take over everything. You don't want the profits piece to be the main focus. You do need tension between all 3 of those. And that's something that I've often used, well, really, it's sort of a framework of how I look at managing the university. And it's also why Chad and I have focused on the health and well-being here initiative here at TWU, and why we invested in that, because I think that's part of the importance of people on the campus. Next one, this picture, live long and prosper. Who knew? This is a picture. This was a picture taken at NASA. And who knew at the time, you know, that we would really be engaging with NASA and participate then after that at the Texas Space Consortium. And you've heard me talk a lot about that competition that we've won so many times, et cetera. Well, this was a precursor to all of that. But clearly, this has had a lot of impact at the university. We won 4 times against incredible odds. And we have so much, I know you heard about the FAA and I mean the aviation, so really there's this whole thread. And by the way, talking about the FAA, I just found out last night that Clint Grant, who's the executive director of our aviation program, School of Aeronautical Sciences, received official approval from the FAA for our program, which is a really, really big deal. Yeah, thank you. 2019, so I selected this photo for a number of reasons. First of all, our Jane Nelson Institute for Women's Leadership has been a leader for women in government and policymaking and in business. And the Institute helped organize this particular centennial of the 19th Amendment, granting women the right to vote in the US. And this celebration took at the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame. Remember this, Stacy?
Dr. Bella and Betsy Price.
Right, with the then mayor, Betsy Price.
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth.
What did I say?
Denton.
No, I definitely Fort Worth. And she was a great, this was a great synergistic vision. The whole Cowgirl Hall of Fame, by the way, has this very similar mission to Texas Women's. And of course, Regent McDavid is an honoree in that Hall of Fame as well. So that was a really wonderful time. But it also illustrates the importance of several of the relationships that have fostered since moving to Texas. And one of those was Betsy Price, who actually lent me the idea of the rolling meetings, the bicycle meetings. She used to do that in Fort Worth, and that's how I got the idea also. So anyway, relationships matter. 2020 was a pivotal year for many reasons. I was told in my first year here that we would never be able to build a new student union or residence halls, and certainly not both. Well, this particular picture was taken at the grand opening for the student union at Hubbard Hall, not too many months after the grand opening of Parliament Village and the new dining hall. So we proved the naysayers wrong. But that large photo behind me is that of an alumna and pioneer, Major General Mary Saunders. She founded what is now the Center for Student Leadership and was the inaugural executive director of the Jane Nelson Institute for Women's Leadership as we went through the thick of the construction phase for the Institute. and she's a treasure to the university. But also, serendipitously, who knew at the time that little photo behind me? That is Mary Lee Kick. Who knew at the time, you know? But obviously, her indescribable, generous gift is continuing our impossible dream of new infrastructure. So these buildings are not lifeless mortar and brick, but the lifeblood, really, and incubators, in a sense, of our excellence that allows our programs and our students to move forward. 2021 was the year that we became a system, and several of you will remember this photo. I also selected it because it's a key reminder that we are a state institution and that we owe much of our greatness to the great state of Texas and their willingness to invest in higher education in general and in Texas Women's in particular. And we have a few of our regents here in the picture. And you remember that was it was a really fun day. All right, almost there, 2022. I selected this photo from the 2022 Dallas Leadership Luncheon, as this was the year that we lost the namesake of the Virginia Chandler Dykes Leadership Award. It's also an honoring of our graduate programs, as all of these scholarship recipients are graduate students, one from each college, and it's a great reminder of the many ways that philanthropy supports our mission and the graduate school mission in particular. And speaking of philanthropy, this photo is a reminder of the transformational power of philanthropic investments in our academic mission. We could never have developed the Doswell School of Aeronautical Sciences and everything else that has happened since then without the $15 million gift from the Doswell Foundation. And look at how it's already helping us start addressing the workforce. We have this, excuse me, a brand new class starting in the fall without any advertising. Our class is full, and we probably have another class starting in the spring. So it really is amazing. And now, of course, today, the Mary Lee Kick gift, which is sending us in the stratosphere yet again. And her individual gift is going to help us fly by our $125 million goal 2 years early. When we set the $125 million goal, everyone said it would be a huge stretch. I remember everybody being super nervous. No, we can't do this, because we had never done a comprehensive campaign. And yet, it wasn't even enough to fund some of the hopes and dreams that we had for the university. We had so many projects that we believed would help set up Texas Women's for decades to come. And sometimes our donors have their own hopes and dreams, and their dreams may be a different priority than ours, but nonetheless really valuable in ways that we couldn't even imagine. So where we are at now is that Mary Lee has sent us into the stratosphere again, as I mentioned, and we still have some very promising opportunities that are left to fund. So I want to spend the remaining 2 years of this campaign matching more philanthropic investments with those high priority projects for the university. For example, we have the Dallas and Houston campus expansion, obviously, that we need to support. We have expansion of the Jane Nelson Institutes for Women's Leadership that will help put us on the national and international radar for research. They're starting a whole new research arm of the center. And we have many other projects as well as potential investors. And I now feel like, dare I even say this, that a $200 million might be within reach before we get to 2026. So let's take advantage of the favorable winds and tide, so to speak, and sail far into the sunset. But speaking of which, this brings me to my final photo and comment and funding priority for the next 2 years, TW Athletics. This was taken when we won the game in Missouri with our basketball coach. Big funding priority for us is TW Athletics. 2024 has been such a year for TW Athletics, as you heard from Sandy, and it's still going. As Sandy mentioned earlier, all 9 of our teams made it to postseason play. And remember, this excellence in competition is happening even while we have doubled the number of student athletes. We have grown our sports offerings from 5 to 9 in a very short period of time, all the while we're increasing the academic excellence of student athletes. I heard recently that it's not as hard to grow in numbers as it is to improve quality. And we are doing both. So if you look at the national and international landscape of women in athletics, this year particularly with the Summer Olympics achieved gender parity for the first time in history. So again, now is the time to take advantage of the favorable winds and invest in TW athletics with an athletics complex. As we have grown these sports and attracted amazing coaches, we really need to have facilities that match these expectations. It's really hard to recruit top-level athletes and keep top-level coaches if we don't have the facilities that match that. So it's a huge, huge priority for me. And it's kind of interesting for me to say that because growing up in Belgium, athletics was definitely not part of my landscape. I really knew nothing about athletics. And so it's so interesting to me now that I have sort of gone 180 degrees and realized the importance of athletics. And in terms of the visibility of the university, I mean, as we were winning these basketball games, and I would go around Denton or even Dallas, people would talk about it all of a sudden. And I realized the importance. It's the front door of the university in many ways in this country. So it's really important that we continue to support and invest in that aspect as well. This kind of athletic complex will allow us, our coaches and teams, to keep up the good work in competition and in the classroom. So there is one other highlight from 2024 for which I don't have a slide, but it can be underestimated. And so I'm going to use my people as living slides. Monica, would you stand up? And Monica Williams, I know, had to leave, but let's just pretend she also stood up. So this is the establishment of the 2 inaugural campus presidents in Dallas and Houston. That's a huge happening for 2024. You know, you're sort of my bonus living slide here for 2024. Thank you. So what we're about to do with your help in Dallas and in Houston is going to change the state and I think the nation. But if you think about it, no other state has even one public university like Texas Women's, and everything that I share about Texas Women's, and what we have done over the past 10 years, but now we will have 3 universities doing this with this particular mission. So this is amazing. And Monica has not even been here half a year, and Monica Williams hasn't even started her role, and already we have glimmers of excitement in both Dallas and Houston, and starting to turn into tangible outcomes. So I couldn't be more excited. Thank you. Thank you for everything you've already done, Monica. You've been amazing. So again, that's a look at Texas Women's over the past 10 years through my eyes, and it is what I'm seeing as I'm looking ahead for the next 2 years, 5 years, and even decades ahead. In conclusion, I wanted to share a little brief video with a few more photos that didn't necessarily make my cut for the 10 in 10, and I hope that the next couple of minutes will bring you some measure of pride and joy. That's Christopher on the top there, by the way. Virginia Chandler Dykes. Monica.
Well, thank you, Corinne Phaeton. All I can say about that is you have vision. I've equated you many times as being that plow horse, and with those blinders on, I don't know.
Belgian plow horse?
Yeah, a Belgian plow horse. With those blinders you have on incessantly, I don't know how you have the vision that you do, but you just keep on going and checking all the boxes and reaching all of the brass rings you can. And I am confident you will get to that $200 million mark. So thank you so much. Is there any further discussion?
Regent Amercan.
Yes.
So I've got three things. First one I've already forgotten. The accomplishments speak for themselves. I mean, that was just tremendous. And last spring, I was at a conference in my business, and there was one of these motivational speakers, and he was a sea captain. So everything he related in his talk had related to his life at the sea. And so he used SEA, and S was servant leadership, E, excellence, and A, accountability. And we were supposed to write down somebody's name in those categories, and I went bang, bang, bang. I said that was easy. So I wanted to say that. And the last thing I want to say is, while those pictures were great, I'm a little dubious they covered 10 years because you look the same in 2014 as now. I mean, yeah. But again, thank you for everything. Yeah. Oh, I know what it was. I remembered. I'm of course thrilled about the commitment to athletics, and Stacy and Sandy and I finally beat you down. So, and then in the last 2 days, I've kind of heard words about a track, and so that would be great. Let's go 200 million.
Regent Jester, what a privilege it's been to be on this ride with you. From the time that you got here, I remember our initial visioning and your visioning and the campus's visioning, and how inclusive from all the different departments and areas that make up Texas Women's University. And to see, and I was just thinking back on some of the vision that has been put forward, then there was the planning of so many of these accomplishments, then there was the execution, and then the celebration. And I just kept thinking about those steps and how that has happened in so many different areas, whether it's the College of Business, whether it's student athletes, whether it's the Jane Nelson Institute. It works, and it works in large part because it starts with who you are, and the fact that you go to students, faculty, staff, community, regents, that you include everyone in that initial gathering to come together on what can we all agree on. If only all of our legislatures and other boards were worked that way. But with that, you bring everyone with you. And I think that is a big part of this accomplishment. And it really brought back a lot of memories of the hard discussions, the planning, but also I enjoyed the slide showing the celebrations. And that's kind of what got me. And so I think that with that, you help us and everyone else keep their eyes on the prize, so that we get to have that celebration. And it was really joyful last night to celebrate another milestone. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you. It's been fulfilling for me. Thank you.
Regent, sorry.
Go.
Okay. This is Regent Wright. I just want to say thank you and congratulations on 10 years of excellence. Every year I think to myself, what is she going to come up with next? She can't possibly beat what she did this year, but you always do. You are a remarkable innovator, and that is going to continue to serve TWU well and continue to propel it into the next stratosphere. Beyond your leadership and innovation, you are about building culture, and you have built a remarkable culture with your excellent team, and that is going to help to continue to sustain all of the remarkable innovations that you have brought to TWU. So thank you for 10 years of excellence.
You know, the credit really goes to the faculty, and they're the ones that come up with the new innovative programs. I just get the credit, but really they're doing the work, right? The faculty, the staff, and then the students, really. But thank you.
Chancellor, this is Bob Hyde. I'm just in awe of all of your accomplishments. My experience, the very best leaders are the best servants. And you have been serving our community, serving our students, our university, our faculty. And the only regret I have is I wish the poet Rudyard Kipling got to meet you so he could revise his poem If, because you're just one of a million. So thank you.
This is Regent Wilson, and on behalf of the search committee who found you, I would just, well done. We knew right away that you were our choice and the one, but little did we know through your flywheel talks and your all of the wonderful things that you have done for this school so far, and the celebrations that we all enjoy, lauding what you have brought together. I just want to thank you, and that was just probably one of the best decisions of my life, other than my husband, of course. Thank you. Yes.
Student Regent Langrieb, I just wanted to represent the students in saying that you are the reason why we all are here and have continued to be so successful these past few years. When I first came on campus and I saw you at bingo, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to be best friends. Like, this is awesome. And you continue just to be a leader and help all of our students through so much these past few years, so much change, construction, craziness, everything these past few years. And you have been our fearless leader. And the students just love you, and I know they will continue to do so. And just thank you for everything you've done for this campus and for our students.
So, Karina, again, thank you for everything. It was really fun this summer. My mom came to visit me, and we had some time, and I asked her, what would you like to do? And she's like, oh, I want to go see your picture. And so I took her to Hubbard Hall. And Monica, usually I call you when I'm on campus, but this was like a last minute thing. So I took Mom to Hubbard Hall, and then we went to the Jane Nelson Center, and I showed her, we got to take a picture of Sandra Day O'Connor's report card because, she went to school in El Paso. And so, of course, my mom and I went to school in El Paso. So it was really fun. But your legacy will be Denton. When you look at all the pictures and all that you've given of your time and your leadership, and it's just going to be so impressive because you're not done. But it's really nice because the campus needed some love. This campus needed that love. And yeah, Ellen and I have talked about this, and it will be your legacy. And it's a tremendous legacy because when you look back at Dr. Huey, who I knew and visited with, she never stopped thinking about our school. She would read about it. I mean, it kept her going, and she never left in. So it was really nice that you came to visit her. But this will be your legacy, and it's going to be really something. So thank you.
You all for your comments, and Chancellor Fainton, thank you for your report. The Board of Regents will now adjourn to executive closed session for consultation with attorney regarding legal matters and/or contemplated litigation or settlement offers pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. Specifically, the board will hear a recommendation to approve the Texas Education Code, Section 51.3525, compliance certification. The Board of Regents will also adjourn to executive closed session for deliberations regarding personnel matters relating to appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of public officers or employees pursuant to Section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. Specifically, the board will engage in consultation regarding TWU administration, discuss the chancellor and president's evaluation, hear or recommend approval of compensation adjustments for the chancellor and president, and hear or recommend approval of the chancellor and president's goals for academic year 2024-2025. Mr. Jason Tomlinson, Vice President for Finance and Administration, will join in the closed session to provide necessary information and consultation to the board regarding these items. All members of the board are requested to leave the room at this time and adjourn to the executive closed session room, and the time is 10:51 a.m.
With a quorum being present, I again call the Board of Regents full board meeting to order. The executive closed session having concluded. The Board of Regents will now reconvene into open session and take any possible action regarding matters discussed in executive closed session. The time is 12:08 p.m. Do I hear a motion to approve item A1, recommend approval of Texas Education Code Section 51.3525, compliance certification?
Regent Wilson, so move.
Is there a second?
Regent Amercan, so second.
Any discussion? It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. The motion passes with a unanimous vote. Before we begin taking action on the next items discussed in closed session, I would like to take a moment to make a few remarks about the Regents' evaluation of Chancellor Phaeton. Chancellor Phaeton has shown remarkable leadership throughout the course of this last year. This board remains thankful for her commitment and service to the Texas Women's University system. We are extraordinarily proud of all of Chancellor Phaeton has accomplished in the last year, with achievements that reach every aspect of the entire university. I know I speak for all the Regents when I state we are tremendously honored to call her the Chancellor and President of the Texas Women's University system.
Thank you.
This board has sought to award Chancellor Phaeton compensation. In recognition of the Chancellor's excellent performance, the board will now consider compensation adjustments for the Chancellor. Do I hear a motion to approve the board's decision not to make any compensation adjustment at this time?
Regent Amercan, so move.
Is there a second?
Regent Hyde, second.
Is there any discussion? This board sought to award Chancellor Phaeton compensation adjustments as it has done previously in recognition of Chancellor Phaeton's exceptional performance in substantially achieving her target goals and objectives over the past year. However, this board has not made any compensation adjustment as the TWU community did not receive any merit increases this year. This board respects Chancellor Phaeton's decisions and as such will not hear a motions to approve any compensation adjustments of the nature at this time. The board will now consider approval of the Chancellor and President's goals for academic year 2024-2025. Do I hear a motion to approve item B4, recommend approval of Chancellor and President's goals for academic year 2024-2025?
Regent Jester, so moves.
Is there a second?
Regent Hyde, seconds.
Is there any discussion? It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Are there any abstentions? This motion passes with a unanimous vote. The board will now take the opportunity to hear any comments or requests from the board membership concerning issues or subjects which they would like to discuss at a future board meeting or about which they would like further information from the administration. The Texas Open Meeting Act requires that the public be given advance notice of the subjects the board will consider in an open meeting or an executive closed session. Therefore, please understand that we are unable to engage in substantive discussion of any future business requests during this meeting. Are there any requests from the board related to issues or subjects for discussion at a future meeting or regarding requests for further information from the administration? Hearing none, we'll move on. At this time, would any of the regents like to make any other remarks about what we have heard during this August Board of Regents meetings? In closing, I would like to remind the Regents that our next Board of Regents meeting is scheduled for November 7th and 8th, 2024, on TWU Systems Houston campus. These meetings offer us a great opportunity to inspire excellence and demonstrate our pioneering spirit. We look forward to the TWU leadership, presenters, and other individuals necessary to the production of the meeting joining us in Houston for the November Board of Regents meeting. If there is no further business, the full board meeting of the Texas Women's University Systems Board of Regents is adjourned at